Harish, turn on your camera, Harish. Sir, turn on your camera, sir. Sir? Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, we'll move to the session. So very good evening. Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. My name is Kumar and I am the head of Computer Science and Engineering Department, Jaya Engineering College. We are highly privileged to host the Skill Fest webinar series, season 7 today. Thanks for your support and cooperation given for the past 6 weeks. Expect the same cooperation for the current week also. On behalf of Jaya Group of Institutions, we welcome you all to the webinar on Living Life The Zen Way. Very interesting topic. Today we are pleased to welcome our speaker, Mr. T T Harish, who is a multi-talented personality, is a cybersecurity professional, a social activist, swimming coach, and a motivational speaker. We extend a warm welcome to you, Harish. Today our principal professor, Dr. K. Samidurai, connected with us. On behalf of all the participants and my own behalf, welcome you, sir.
Thank you.
So we are going to hear a lot about the Zen way of living life from Harish. So before getting into the session, I request all the participants to make a note of the following instructions. It's a regular note to the participants, especially for those who have joined newly today. At the end of the session, I request every participant should submit a feedback form through which the certificate is generated. We will provide the feedback form at the end. You can find the feedback form link on top of the chat box as a sticky note. You will receive the e-certificate within maximum of 2 days. In feedback form, type your name in capital letter and provide valid email ID. Check the email ID before submitting the form. We will take care of each and every one of your grievances. If you have any inconvenience, please write to us through email or WhatsApp. The technology used here is purely rely on the strength of the local bandwidth. If you have any audio and video issues, please check your network bandwidth and audio or video devices. Otherwise, kindly click the reconnect button. It's placed on top of the screen. It's in the red color labeled as reconnect. Don't leave the room. Do not close the window or do not close the browser. Otherwise, the connectivity to the webinar room will expire. In that case, you have to re-register again and click the webinar link to connect with us. If there is any technical glitch in our side, we will back in a maximum of 30 seconds. Do not leave the room or close the window. If you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the chat box and select a QA mode so that it's easy for us to identify the question. We will address all your questions at the end. So the recorded version of this webinar will be available in YouTube after 4 hours. You can watch the replay of video of all our webinars through YouTube. With this note, I request our principal, Professor Dr. K. Samidurai, to say a few words to all participants. Over to you, sir.
Good evening to all of you. The speaker of today's webinar, Mr. Harish, our renowned alumnus of Jaya Group of Institutions. Professor Kumaran, head of CSE department, all the participants. Let me also join in welcoming all of you for this event. And I am extremely happy that the way in which this webinar is organized, and I am happy to be part of this webinar. You know very well the title of this event is the Zen Way of Living Life. Let me say a few words about the Zen religion, and it is actually prevailing in one part of China and Japan. And you might have heard about there are two divisions in Buddhist religion, that is Mahayana and Hinayana. And this Zen way of living life is the part of Mahayana, and our Mr. Harish will explain what is Mahayana and how to live Zen way of life. And apart from the technical skills, at this juncture we need to learn about the life skills. And in the otherwise it is very difficult to lead a life. It is because in the modern world we used to come across the turbulent times like the COVID-19 outbreak and all very often. During the turbulent times, how to lead a life, how to lead a life in peace, that and all we will come to know through this kind of webinars. So this title is very much interesting, and there are many books available as far as the Zen religion is concerned. How the Zen hermits, you can say, they lead the life peacefully, and you might have heard about them. In the morning they used to laugh like anything, and they will get into the job. In the evening also they will join together and laugh like anything, and they used to do tea meditation and all to have peace in life. So that and all our Harish will explain. So I thank you for attending all this the series of webinars which is being organized by our Jaya group of institutions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now, without further delay, we will turn the time over to the speaker. It's my honor and privilege to introduce Mr. T. Harish. As I said, he's a multifaceted personality. He is working a lot as a social activist rather than his profession as IT employee. As a professional, he is having more than 14 years of IT experience in IT industry. He is an experienced security professional with a focus on governance, risk, and compliance. A seeker who seamlessly follows the technological advancement and ensures the safe and secure digital transformation by identifying and managing risk along with the transformation journey. He worked in various MNCs such as Lionbridge Technologies Limited, HCL Comnet Systems and Services Limited, Temenos, IDFC, Scope International, Harland Clark, Exave Technologies, and currently with SoftwareONE India Pvt Limited as a global product owner. He is a certified payment card industry security implementer, that is a CPISI, obtained from CISA Information Security, and ISACS certified information system auditor, that is CISA. He is an ISO 27001 lead auditor obtained from LRCA. As a social activist, he is helping a lot for many people, helping underprivileged students for their school and college fees, guiding, counseling, and helping in all means. Visits frequently to orphanages, elderly homes to help the people and spend his time there. Guiding and motivating number of students studying in different schools and colleges. Joined hand with the fire department and do number of training on various safety aspects to the colleges and the school students. He helps people in all kind of disaster, whether it may be a flood or a cyclone or corona. Whenever there is a kind of disaster, I used to call him. He is in the field and help people. Blindly he worked. He never bothered about anything. Because of this, he was affected with COVID-19 positive. Till last week, he was in quarantine. The day he got the positive result, occasionally I called him. He said, just now I got the report, going through it. I have to get ready. Ambulance and health department professional may come at any time to pick up me. I was not surprised that he got COVID-19. I know he will not stay in home in this pandemic situation, going out and help people. Just I called him to address the safety procedure. Another one noble activity I wanted to mention here. There were many unclaimed bodies are kept in various government hospitals and are not disposed due to non-availability of fund and other facility. What these people do is, with help of police department, collect the bodies from the mortuary and do all funeral ceremonies in a decent way, and buried or cremated. He do frequently along with some of his friends. These are all some of the activity he do normally, and lot more. The time is not enough to cover his social work. With this brief introduction, so without wasting our time, we will move on to the session. I'm very glad to welcome Mr. Harish to present. Over to you, Harish.
Thank you, sir. I hope my audio is clear.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes. Yes.
And I'm sure you can all see the screen as well.
Yes. Yes, Harish.
All right. So welcome everybody for the session. When Kumaran sir reached out to me, I was his student, obviously, 15 years back. So I had no hesitation to take up a session, but I said, I'm not going to do any technology topic, but then let me cover something which is going to be useful for everybody's life. Something which I personally know, something which I have read, something which I have experienced. So that is why, the topic, living life the Zen way. Thank you to the principal who gave an introduction about Zen. Let me be very clear. I'm not going to bore you with all religious texts. I'm not going to bore you with religious sermons, all of that. It's just going to be a simple walkthrough of certain thoughts which will actually, make you feel completely better with respect to living your own life. So let's just go on. This is the usual response that I see when I take a lot of sessions. I cannot see a lot of people here, but then usually people are like this when I go take classes across. Now, before getting into Zen, right, I want to take you through what is there in today's world, actually. I think all of you will agree with this. This is the real version of you on the right side and the Facebook version of you on the left side. I think everybody is going to agree with this without any doubts, right? And today we practice a lot of passive learning, right? You can actively learn yogasana and do. You could also drink a pint of beer or something and then learn the same asana as well. So a lot of things that we do today is passive. An evolution of life in current world. You start with a feeding bottle, you end up with a saline or trips. I'm not going to talk about what is there in between. This is the evolution of life for most of them, in today's context. And this is also an hard-hitting truth, especially with me as well. 2001, technology was big, humans were small. In 2017, technology is getting smaller, humans are getting bigger. That's the irony. And we are so much dependent on technology. A wife calls her husband and says, honey, I can't open the jar. He says, download and install Java. This is the dependency on technology that we guys are having today. And we've got a lot of progressive thoughts, right? We ask people to wear a helmet for safety purposes, and you see what people are doing. And we also innovate a lot of things with progressive thoughts. Whatever you see here is a person wearing a seat belt, but there are t-shirts in the market which, when worn and when you sit on the car, it looks like you are actually wearing a seat belt by yourself. This is the current day scenario. Our innovations are more to break the rules. Our innovations are against, humanity as well. So living a life in the current day scenario, right? So every day you look at the newspaper, there's some issue of somebody getting murdered, somebody getting kidnapped, somebody is being robbed, somebody is fighting, somebody is getting killed. Now, how do we live a life in such a scenario? And you have this pandemic out. There are a lot of health going around us. So how can we live a life with a lot of challenges? And the only answer for that is living the life the Zen way. So thank you once again for your time in joining this. So the next couple of minutes, we're going to bounce some thoughts on how more happily you can live your own life. Again, amidst this chaos which is happening today in the world. So thanks to my co-worker Harini, who's also helping me with preparing this presentation and slides. So let's go on. What is not Zen? So before getting into Zen, I wanted to clarify a point in telling you what is not Zen. So don't confuse Zen to be the most popular car, which was there a couple of decades back. It's not a habit. It's not a simplicity. It's not a state of peace. It's not a meditation technique. It's not a meditation technique. It's a meditation technique that
இல்ல ஆடியோ இது ஆடியோ போயிடுச்சு. ஓகே. ரைட். Participants, sorry for the inconvenience. There's a technical problem in the speaker side. Please, you can stay connected. He'll back in. So he'll back soon.
Hello?
Yes, Harish, you can go ahead.
Okay. Sorry guys, I think there was a technology glitch here. So Zen is actually not a car. I think I covered all this, and it's not a destination. So what is Zen actually then in reality? Is Zen a meditation technique? Is Zen a mantra? What is actually Zen? So Zen actually is derived from a Japanese word that's derived from a Sanskrit word called meditation, called dhyana, right? And then to simply put, to make you understand what Zen is simply the state of centeredness, which is here and now. Zen is actually a principle which says, okay, there's no past, there's no future, it's all here and now. And Zen practice doesn't ask you to get away from a life with full of challenges or as it is, right? It is about getting into your own life. It is about getting into your own life with whatever challenge you have and still living it happily. Zen is a journey of exploration, and it's about experiencing the life here and now at this very moment and very juncture. It's about removing the dualistic distinction between I and you, right? There's no distinction between me and you. There's no distinction between the subject and object. It's about waking up and being aware. There's a famous quote, right? Each morning we are born again. What we today is what matters the most. I mean, so when you sleep, you're not sure if you'll get up the next morning, right? So that's the irony in this world. You're not sure. So every deep sleep that you go through is a very temporal stage where you don't know where you're going to get up tomorrow morning or not. So Zen is about getting up tomorrow fresh, waking up with a lot of awareness, and what matters is what are we going to do today at this moment, at this second. That's what Zen actually talks about. The objectives of the session is not to teach you Zen because it takes years to master the art of understanding Zen, and not to burden you with any meditation technique asking you to close your nose, open your mouth, laugh, cry, nothing of that sort, and not to bore you with religious texts. The objective is only to share what I have experienced, what I have seen, what I have heard, and what I have read. So it is to leave you with few thoughts which can actually make you experience your life, explore yourself, sing, dance, and rejoice the life that you have been given with. So let's move on to understand some simple concepts of easy living and experience Zen in a larger context. The first thought that I want to bounce up with you is choose direction over destination. Now you could ask me, what is the difference between direction and destination? I need a direction to go to destination. Now the moment you say destination, right, there comes a stop. That is where you are aiming to go in life. Now let's say if I say my destination is reaching US, I just go to US, I'm there in the US, that's it. But destination should not be your goal, whereas the direction should be your goal. Destination is tangible. You can see the destination, right? You can go experience the destination, but direction is something intangible. You can only feel it. Now, the moment you say, my life as a destination, you're going to stop your life in this particular destination. But if you say, my life has got a direction, this is how I live, this is how I go through my life. Now, there's no stop. Nobody's going to stop you. Now take my case, right? So when Kumaran sir was introducing me, he said I do a lot of things. And I do a lot of things because I don't want to stop myself from experiencing a lot of things which I do today. I was a swimmer. I used to take classes. Now I work with the emergency services here to rescue people from flood, to rescue animals from distress, to rescue people from fires and all of that. And I also work for a software company full-time where I experience the work that I do. I do a lot of motivation sessions like this. I do a lot of counseling. I visit a lot of orphanages. Now, if I have decided that, okay, this is my destination, okay, I'm going to go to US, I'm going to work for a company, I'm going to settle down there. If that is my destination, I mean, life wouldn't have given me a large opportunity to go experience all this. I know where I have to go. I know the direction where I have to go. I don't have a destination for my life. But today I am working with this company. Tomorrow I could do something. Tomorrow I might not do anything. I could just keep exploring. So you need to understand a difference between what a direction is and what a destination is. So if this direction versus destination is understood better, I would want you to choose a direction rather than the destination. That's more important for us to live. So just go explore the direction where you want to go. Explore each and every small thing of things that you come across in your life, and your life is going to be marvelously happy. Because another thing, right? You never have a tension of reaching a destination, right? Okay, let's say I start from here. I decide I have to reach a place near Bangalore. Until I reach the place, there's a lot of tension on my head. Until I reach the place, there's all of promotions. There's a lot of preconventions. Like, will I go there on time? Will I be there? Will I do that? But if I just choose, okay, let me drive through this way. Let me go through there. If at all Bangalore comes on the way, I'll go to Bangalore. So I focus more on the direction. So when there's a destination, there's also chaos. But when there's only a direction on how you should go, there's actually no chaos in life, and it's a happy process altogether. I'm sure if you have to, whatever thought I'm telling you here is something that I have personally experienced. But if you have to understand what I'm saying, try this out in any one of the things that you do in life. Don't fix up anything for one of the activities that you do, right? But then keep going. You'll definitely find bliss. That's the first thought that I wanted to bounce with you. The second thought that I wanted to bounce with you is live intensely, live totally, here and now. There are a lot of religious texts which say, okay, if you do this, you go to hell. If you do this, you go to heaven. The problem is, assuming that we go to heaven, we create hell for ourselves here. We are not sure how hell looks like or how heaven looks like. You cannot talk to somebody who visited that place, or even if you visited in the so-called previous birth, I'm not sure you will remember whether you were in hell or heaven or what did you go through, right? Those are some things which is not in our hands. And if you keep dwelling in your past, okay, when I wrote my examinations for engineering, I had this issue. I think Kumaran also knows this. I had to write my paper called probability and queuing theory almost 6 times from my 4th semester to 8th semester and stuff. So the issue was, if I sit today and if I think about, my God, I had to write this max paper almost 6 times in my life. If I keep thinking about that, what is going to happen? I'm going to lose my present time. Or if I think today and if I just keep thinking, tomorrow what, I have to be somebody like Bill Gates. What do I do for this? I'll only keep thinking. I mean, I'm not saying you should not have ambitions, but don't live there, but live here. Just keep doing, things in the present. See, my question to all of you is, if your life is happy each and every second until your end of your life, so you lived a happy life, right? There's no question of you kind of going and saying, I never lived a happy life. Every second of your life matters. So this second, I'm happy, done. I'm not going to think of what happened 5 minutes back, what happened 5 years back, or what happened 50 years back. Don't carry the burden, right? So living intensely, live totally, here and now, is the second thought that I wanted to bounce with you. Now, the third thought which I want to bounce with you is, everything that happens to me, have the strong belief, right? Everything that happens to me is the best possible thing that can happen to me. Now, I want you to visualize a situation where God comes in front of you all of a sudden, and he comes and tells you, hey, you know what? From today, don't worry, your life is completely under my control. Whatever happens in your life, this is definitely going to do good for you in the future. And if you hear this word from the God, will you even worry about something happening in your life? No, because when somebody of that stature comes and tells you, you believe it, right? And imagine God also gives you a bonus by saying, you know what? Don't worry, even if a bad thing is happening in your life, don't worry, it's only going to do you a good thing. Now, what will you do now? You're going to be extra happy, right? You're going to be extra happy thinking that, you know what? Even if it's bad thing, it's going to end up good for me. God has told me. Now, everything happens for a reason, ladies and gentlemen. There's nothing in the world which happens without a reason. Sarvasya Suddhi Karano Dvani. It means that everything happens for a reason. Anything in your life, you sit down, introspect by yourself, take any incident which happened in your life. That incident would have taught you something, or it would have given you something. It would have changed the way you are living. Right? I've met with accidents in my life. Now, every accident, I've met with multiple accidents. So every accident I met changed my life. Every incident that I saw in my life changed my life. So start accepting things as it happens. Now, when I said God comes before you and gives you this assurance, I believe that God resides within yourself. You are created by the so-called superpower, right? You are part of Him. You are not somebody away from Him. So definitely nothing bad is going to happen to you. My only point is, whatever happens, just keep going. See, I am not asking you to find out the most best thing in a bad situation, or I am not asking you to accept the bad situation as a good situation. I'm saying, even if it's bad, accept and move on. That's it. I don't want you to go interpret a bad situation and find out good, or accept all bad situation as good. If bad happens, it's bad. Move on. That's how you can keep going without any worries in life. Because if you start worrying for each and everything, right, you can't live, gentlemen. It's very tough. So everything that happens to me is the best possible thing that can happen to me. That is definitely going to change my life in a larger sense. So this is very important. We are the authors of every next moment that happens in our life. Now you can always ask me this question: why is it so contradictory? You said don't live in the past, don't live in the future. Now you're telling me we are the authors for every next moment. Now the only answer is because what you do in present is going to continue. What you do in present is going to keep continuing, right? See, there are two ways in which you can actually tackle a situation. You can either react or you can either respond. Now, reaction is always not the best because it's a burst which comes from you. But response is something which you have to channelize and give it to you. So reaction or response is something that you should choose according to the situation. I'm not saying don't react. I'm not saying only respond. I'm all that I'm telling you is react or respond according to what is happening in the present. Now, see, we are all inhabited with a lot of thoughts which we have preconceived, right? Okay, if this guy is like this, he's going to do that. If this happens, that will happen. If this lizard falls on my head, I'll have an early death. Oh, this is nonsense, ladies and gentlemen. You can't have anything preconceived in your mind. Just go attend that present, try to react or respond according to what is needed, and I'm sure you will definitely author a very good next movement, right? Now there was the small story which I always like. There was a guy who actually was a very strong farmer. He was a very dedicated farmer. Now he had a horse. So that horse once ran away. So people in the village came and told him, "Hey, your horse is running away to the forest." He said, "Okay, let it run. That's okay, no problem." Now, after some time, they saw the horse coming with 4 or 5 wild horses. They all came and told him, "Hey, your horse is returning back with 4 or 5 wild horses." He said, "Okay, let it come. That's fine. Let it come." And his son took up one wild horse and started riding the wild horse. He fell down and he broke his leg. Everybody came and said, "Because of this wild horse, your son got injured. You should send them out." He said, "That's okay. Let them be here." And luckily, what happened that day? The army had come into the village to recruit people. All young men. There was a war going on. All the young men were asked to come to the army. Because this guy had got injured, no, he was left at home. This guy was happy. And after some time, this horse trained the other horses to be domesticated. And everybody said, "Wow, your horse has now made all the 4 horses domesticated. It's doing a lot of work for you." This guy again said, "Okay, that's fine." Now, what this guy has been doing is he's been accepting what has been happening, and he has not been reacting, and he was just responding, saying, "Okay, let it happen the way it has to happen." Now, he authored the movement on his own accord, and he did not overplay or he did not underplay. He was just neutral to what was happening. So try to be neutral to any situation, analyze the situation being neutral, and then try to react or respond. You'll definitely see a good result. And always ensure that your reaction and response does not affect anybody who doesn't deserve to be treated like that. That's something that you'll have to understand. The thought 5 that I wanted to bring before you is, as you believe, so it is for you. The world could have anything. The world can go face a recession, but you might be, wealthy. There could be a pandemic going in our city. There could be a lot of COVID cases, but there are a lot of you who have not got affected with COVID. Because something is happening universally, it need not affect you. There's another beautiful story in Zen about this. So there's an old guy in a small town in America where he was selling burgers. Now, this old guy was been doing this for quite some time, and his specialty was, for a very small money, he gives everybody who comes to his shop a beautiful burger, some French fries, a lot of dips, and cool drinks together for a very small amount. And his shop was always full. There's no time for him to even talk. He keeps making burgers, and every day he always runs out of stock. And this was also happening when there was a recession, economic recession in US. Now one day, his son, who's an expert in economics, came and visited him. He saw the shop, he saw the way business is being done. He told his father, "Dad, whatever you're doing is not right. And look at the cost that is incurring. You have a very small profit. And look at the economy of US. There's a recession going on. How do you even expect to make a lot of money? If the recession continues, there's going to be a lot of issue, and you'll also end up getting affected because of recession." This old man asked, "What do you want me to do, my son?" He said, "Stop giving all the free things, freebies along with your burger. Just give them the burger that is supposed to be given for the amount that they're paying." Now this man, because he knows his son was an economist, took his advice. Now, he went to his shop. The very next day, he said, "No more dips, no more French fries, no more cool drinks with the burger." And at the end of a couple of weeks, because people were out of money, for a very small amount, They were getting so much thing, they all came to his shop and he was making some profit. Because of the so-called economist idea, people stopped coming to his shop because the freebies were cut. People felt they were not being given what they were supposed to get. And one fine day, this fellow had to close the shop. Now, this fellow, before his son's advice, though there was a recession in US, he never believed that it is affecting him. But after an advice from the son, he started believing that, oh my God, whether this recession will also affect me. He changed his course of work and then he faced the heat. He lost his business. So, ladies and gentlemen, my message for you here, or the message from Zen for you here is, as you believe, so it is for you. If you believe you are going to get affected, you will definitely be affected. If you believe, okay, I've recently been talking to a lot of people who are so paranoia about COVID-19. And actually, COVID-19 is nothing. It's just a virus which is there, like all the other viruses in our body. It automatically gets healed with little proper care of yourself. But a lot of people today have become paranoia, right? People are afraid of getting newspapers. People are afraid of permitting the milkman inside. People are afraid of getting the water cans inside their home. They do a lot of disinfection. They put a lot of chemicals and they put a lot of things. There's a whole lot of paranoia. And one fine day when they get COVID, they say, oh, I did so many things. I also got COVID, and they feel so depressed. Now the point here is, if you believe you're going to get it, you will definitely get it. If you believe you're not going to get it, you're not going to get it. So as you believe, so it is for you. So the miracle is not to fly in the air or to walk in the water, but to walk on earth. That's the thought 6 that I want to give you. You might think that the miracle is going to happen because you have to fly in the air, you got to walk on the water, but that's not miracle. That's never a miracle. The actual miracle is to walk on the earth. But see, all of us get to live only once, right? But if you do it right, once is enough. That's the best fundamental learning that you need to have. So, don't think that today you'll have to build a rocket and you have to become a rocket scientist. Don't kind of be obsessed with the thought of becoming, okay, but some miracle will happen, I'll become that, I'll walk on the water. No. Live a very, very simple life. Walk on the earth feeling that you deserve a lot of things in your life. Always think that you are the best. Always have this feeling that I am in this world with a purpose. See, nobody is there in the world without a purpose, right? To prove your purpose, you don't have to create a miracle by showing people that you can walk on the air or walk on the water. You can just show people how to live a life in the most beautiful way by just living a life the way you want to live. That's more important than doing all these miracles or believing in all these miracles. Life is not about fancy cars. Life is not about private jets. Life is not about 20, 30 vacations in your life. Life is all about walking peacefully, enjoying every moment of your step, experiencing the journey. I've always seen people who are very, very rushing up to reach success. They do reach success, I don't deny. But is the process of reaching success a sustainable process? If they reach there, are they staying there? I have seen people who reach this point. Now they reach this point, they start going to the other point. From there, they start going to the other, they become tired, they quit. Sometimes people even lose their lives running behind success, running behind different objectives of life. But think of this, right? Let's say you're running a race. Don't think about winning the race, but think about experiencing every step that you take to run and finish the line. It's always, you don't have to be a winner. You have to just experience living it. Let's say you are walking somewhere and you're going to go near an ocean. Have you ever tried this? If you go to this Marina Beach in Chennai, just try walking slowly, looking at the ocean from the road to the beach by experiencing or seeing each and everything which happens in the beach around you. I'm sure a lot of people will miss this. You would have fixed your eyes on one shop which gives you bhaji, or one shop which gives you chana, or the other shop which gives you pani puri. But you would have forgotten the beauty of ocean when seen from different points. The beauty that the kids kind of play in the beach with the mud. The beauty that old people sit on the beach and talk about their life. The beauty of the lights, the beauty of the sellers, the beauty of the horses. There are so many things which you'd experience. If you just look at running to the beach and standing at the water, of course you'll go to the water, but you'll have to come back again. But then, if you take that journey to be a step-by-step journey, you experience the entire journey, your life is definitely going to change. I mean, do this next time when you go to Marina Beach or wherever is your favorite destination. Start observing each and everything, ladies and gentlemen, when you go through a journey, because that's the experience we'll have to live for, not just to reach the destination and then say, okay, I've reached, now what next? No. There are a lot of things for you to even do as you go through. The next thought that I wanted to bounce up with you is nothing can be lost or destroyed. It can be only changed. And the only way to make sense out of change is to plunge with it, move with it, and join the dance. I know a lot of people resist change, right? Okay, today I did this, tomorrow it has to be like that. No, yesterday it was like this, today it has to be like that. I thought this will be like this, but this is not like that. I mean, we resist to change because our expectations are always fixed. There's another very beautiful story, a comic story. There was a guy, there were two friends, they're meeting after a long time, but when this guy was seeing another guy, the guy was crying. So this friend went and asked him, hey, man, why are you crying? What happened in your life? He said, my grandfather died. Oh, I'm so sorry. Why are you crying? What happened? What happened to your grandfather? He said, no, my grandfather was filthy rich. He died, but he gave me a $1 billion property. He said, this is something that you have to be happy about. Why are you still crying? And he said, no, I had another grandfather. He also died. And this fellow asked, no, I think I understand your situation, but why are you crying? What happened to this grandfather? He was also sick, but he also gave me another $1 billion. And this guy got white. He said, Arey, you have two grandfathers, both of them died in the age where they are supposed to die. They've given you property worth 1 billion each. Now what is making you cry in this world, my friend? And this guy said, I'm upset because I only have two grandfathers in my life. I don't have many other grandfathers. See, as you keep, raising your expectations, you will never be satisfied with what is happening. You can't accept anything in your life. You got to keep, understanding that change is the most inevitable thing. I mean, if you resist change, I would like to ask you a question. Are you the same person who you are when you were a kid? Did you not undergo a change yourself? Did you not undergo becoming more muscular? Did you not undergo becoming a man of what you are today? Did you not accept the change which made you a woman who you are today? How many of you today, if I ask you, will tell me, no, I never wanted to become a man or a woman, I wanted to be a kid always. No. When you are a kid, you always aspire to become a man. And when you are a man, you always aspire to become a kid. So you don't enjoy being a kid, you don't enjoy being a man. My point is, accept the change. Okay, let anything change. You're not going to lose anything or nothing is getting destroyed, right? My fingers were very small when I was a kid, now it's very big, that's it. I had a lot of hair when I was young, now it's not there, that's it. I mean, I had all black hairs, it's all white hairs now. What is going to bother me? And if I feel, okay, I got white hairs and I keep putting all this chemicals and stuff, I might get some injury to my skin. I have accepted this, that's it. That's how I am. That's how the changes happen. And I'm here to accept that. Life is about moving on, accepting changes and looking forward to what makes you stronger and more complete. It's not about resisting changes. Next time, something changes in your life, ladies and gentlemen, try this, right? Go and fall in the change. Go and plunge into the change. Move with it, and you'll definitely find a bliss in that. You'll never find a sense of being lost or something. It's a beautiful feeling to accept change, right? I mean, don't ask me a question. Should I accept COVID-19? Yes, you should, because you got to live with it, right? There's no other way. You can't fight against COVID, right? You got to accept it. You can do a lot of activities which will prevent that from affecting you, but end of the day, if it comes to you, you got to take it, be happy, and then see how you can actually go with that and then enjoy that and then come out of it safely. You got to take some precautions, but accept the change which is going to happen to you. That's my point here. This is another very good thought that I wanted to give you, right? Even if it's painful and lonely, associate with a worthy companion. That's more important for us in our lives. Now, if you believe you're going to do something, have people who will believe in you first. And for heaven's sake, don't go and discourage anybody who believes that he's going to be successful. If somebody says, I'm going to find out a product or I'm going to create a good business, don't say, are you even capable of doing business? No, business is a very bad thing. There are a lot of issues. You will lose money. You will not even allow him to take one step forward. Always associate yourself with somebody who believes in you, somebody who believes in your thought, somebody who says, go do business, I am with you. If you lose, don't worry, we will again do another business. I mean, you have to, sometimes being in the company of good men is also painful, right? Certain people, certain big masters, they're very tough to be with. Some of your friends would definitely be hard nuts to crack. They might be very tough. They might not be talking pleasingly in front of you, but they'll definitely talk behind you. They might not appreciate you for whatever you're doing, but they'll always ensure that they are with you whenever you go through a problem. It is actually very tough to be with good people, but as a result, you will definitely get rewarded. Now, there's a small analogy that I want to give you here. A very good sculptor, right? A very good sculptor who was asked to build a temple. He selected rocks which were so beautiful. All the rocks that he selected were so beautiful. And he started using his chisel and he started using his hammer to kind of sculpt the image of the god that was required. Now, as he was beating the first rock thought, I'm such a beautiful rock. Why is this guy who's so skilled? I know he's a skilled sculptor. Every rock in the world wants to get chisels by him, but still, why should he come and hammer me like this? And he said, no, I'm a beautiful rock. I don't want him to hammer me. Let me break. The first rock broke, the second rock broke, and all the rocks were breaking, thinking that why should I even accept things like this because he's a great guy. There is one rock which stood the chisels, which stood the hammer. At the end of the result, the sculptor created a beautiful statue of the god from a rock which resisted all of the beat, and he placed this rock inside the temple. All the other rocks which broke were broken into further pieces. They were created as steps on which people stamp their legs and go up. But this one rock which accepted the sculptor's chiseling became the god which everybody worships. Now this is where, ladies and gentlemen, you need to understand, sometimes being in the company of good people or a worthy companion could be painful, or it could also make you feel lonely. But if you resist that, you'll definitely be this rock which actually became a god. I think you know Buddha and Ananda. Ananda was Buddha's disciple. Ananda was also a warrior like Buddha. Buddha was also a king, right? So there was one instance where Buddha and Ananda were walking in a village. People came from the village and started throwing abuses at Buddha. They started scolding Buddha. They started throwing stones at him. And Buddha said, see, I don't accept anything from you. Just take whatever you got with you, divide it among yourself and leave me alone. And he started walking. In the next village, when they went, there were a lot of people who actually brought a lot of gems, diamonds, golds, and gave Buddha all of this. Buddha again said the same thing. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, please split this amongst yourself. I don't want anything. Now, Ananda was seeing this. He was a little angry. And he went to Buddha and said, Buddha, what you're spoiling our lives? We are monks. And so much of wealth would have helped us create a monastery. So much of help would have made us much wealthier, and we could actually do this. But why did you not even accept all this? Then Buddha said, Ananda, I'm not surprised with the question that you're asking me, but I'm surprised that you are asking me this question, being my companion for so long time. He says, both of the things that was given to us is not needed to us. You never wanted the stones and abuses, so I said I don't want. I never wanted the wealthy stones and gemstones because that's against the principle of our own living. We are supposed to go beg for food every day. We have to eat only once before the sunset, and that's our life. And that's when Ananda realized, yes, there is a meaning out of it. That's when Ananda got enlightened of what it is to live like a monk. And he started accepting Buddha on the whole. Even though he felt little tough when people scolded, he was a warrior. And people scolded him, he could have reacted. He didn't react because Buddha was there. When people gave a lot of wealth, he wanted to take all that, but he did not take because Buddha was there. But at the end, he realized a blissful meaning of the entire incident. So if you are in the good company, definitely you're going to experience bliss. Another very important lesson for all of us is don't crib for small things and don't focus on unimportant things. Now, in the picture that you see, I have taken the picture of Steve Jobs from 1998 to 2010. What do you see in that case? Do you see any change? I mean, there could be other photos where he's got a different color, but most of the time when you see Steve Jobs, he's on his polo neck t-shirts, jeans, and sneakers. That's it. I mean, have you ever seen Steve Jobs thinking about what dress should I wear for this occasion? Every time you see him with this dress, right? But look at us. When we go for a wedding, right? We spend 45 minutes to 1 hour in selecting the dress, preparing the dress, and by the time you go, the wedding is over. And even for the wedding that we are going to go through, we spend so much money on the dress. I mean, do you think spending so much time on choosing what you need to wear, is it important than going and being in the wedding and spending some time with the relatives who's getting married or whatever function it could be, right? Even if you're going for the meeting, I don't know how much tension people take in preparing for the presentation, but they take a lot of tension to dress up for the occasion. Acha, what is my coat color? What color tie should I wear? What is my shoe? How should I polish it? What kind of pant? What kind of belt color? I'm not saying don't do that, but just don't crib for all this and don't focus so much on unimportant things. Now, I mean, you crib for small things, right? Okay, you go home, your people in the home makes you a roti, which looks like a puppet, but you start cribbing for that puppet. Think of this person on the road who does not even get anything to eat that night. Okay, you feel like, okay, what shoes is this here? This shoe is so messy, it's not cleaned up. Think of this worker who does not have a slipper but still walks in the hot summer when it's 12 o'clock in the afternoon. You grip for whatever you feel is waste is the most needed thing for somebody in the society, right? If you start gripping for small things and if you start complaining, you're not going to live a life. You'll never enjoy that. But okay, if you have a shoe which is not clean, that's okay. Think of the best times you've had with the shoe, right? The shoe has protected you from a lot of sun. The shoe has protected you from a lot of stones. Don't throw the shoe. Okay, if it owns out and stuff, change is inevitable, throw that. But don't start cribbing, I don't have a shoe, I don't have money to buy a new shoe. And don't crib for small things. I've seen people, they have a car, but when they see a BMW, they bang on their own car steering wheel and say, God, I have to buy a BMW. You're forgetting the car which is taking you safely somewhere. You're thinking about a BMW which you might buy or you might not buy and beating the car which is carrying you. This is what is human nature, right? So my request is don't crib for small things in life and don't focus on unimportant things. They're very good Zen thoughts for all of you. Keep your teacup empty. So there was a very, very great Zen master who was approached by a king to teach or to learn Zen. So the king went with a lot of people. He took a lot of riches and sat before the Zen master and said, all this is for you. I want to learn Zen. This is how I am. This is how this is how that and stuff. So he said, teach me Zen. So the Zen master said, okay, get a cup. I'll give you tea first. Now as he placed the cup, the Zen master started pouring the tea. And he was pouring and pouring and pouring, and the tea was overflowing. The king didn't understand what it was. The king asked, what is this? Why are you pouring on this? It's getting waste. The Zen master replied to him, my boy, your mind is like this. Your mind is preoccupied with so many thoughts. Your mind already feels that it knows everything. Now, whatever I put on top of that, it will only overflow, it will not stay. Unless and otherwise, you empty your teacup, you cannot have a tea. That's life, right? We have been preconceived with a lot of thoughts. We assume we know a lot of things. And when you go and meet somebody to teach you something, you actually don't even understand that you only know a drop of what you know. But what actually happens is when you are full and when you are not ready to empty your teacup, all that he's going to give you is going to go waste because you're already full with your thoughts. Throw all your thoughts out, be open-minded when you go talk to people, and then start feeling the learning that you get from everybody in the world. So keep your teacups empty to make your life much better. So that's another thought that I wanted to bounce with you. Healing the past enables you to be happy. The present moment is a wonderful moment. The moment we call now is all that exists. Never ever carry the burden of your past in your lives, ladies and gentlemen. Again, there's a beautiful story. There were two monks wanting to cross a river. There was a lady who said, "You know what? I am hurt. I cannot cross this river. Can you help me cross the river?" There was an old monk, there was a young monk. The old monk carried her on his back. He safely got her to the other side of the bank. He left her there. He said, "Are you safe now? Are you okay?" He said, "Thank you so much." And the old monk and the young monk left. As they reached their monastery, the young monk called the old monk and said, "You know what? I thought you were a best teacher in the monastery, but what you did today was not right." He said, "What did I do today?" "You know that as per our custom, you're not supposed to carry that, you're not supposed to touch the woman. You carried her on your back, you helped her cross the stream. Why did you do this?" The old monk replied, "I dropped her there, but you are still carrying her." And this is what we do, ladies and gentlemen, in our lives. We undergo a situation or we experience a situation which we feel is bad. And we don't allow ourselves to come out of the situation and we start losing the present. Now, have you ever thought about this in your life? You had some experience where you did not go through a good situation and that never helped you, learn something, or that probably gave you a feeling of not being so good. But tomorrow, when you see something similar, you bring that thought yourself and you resist things that are going to happen. Probably you might even miss somebody very, very good for you, right? Okay, let's take the example of what today's young people go through, right? They so-called the relationship. They say, "Okay, I like this guy, I love this girl, okay, but then this guy was bad. This guy didn't do this, and it's okay. Let him be bad. He has done that to you. You got affected. Move on." Maybe you kind of try to see that experience in every other thing, and you still carry the thoughts that you had with that person. You'll definitely miss out a beautiful person who's waiting for you. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, universe is not so against all of us. Universe is not bad. Universe always does things for you. There's always something better waiting for you in your life. If you carry your burden from the past, you'll never accept something that is waiting for you. You'll only be carrying the dead weight which is not there with you, which has given you a bad feeling, and you'll miss out something which will actually make you feel better. So just throw away your past. This is all the moment that you've got. Enjoy the moment and live a great life. The last thought is realize the ultimate truth of life and live your life like it's your last day. And there's a beautiful saying which always is said by Osho: "Live when you live, die when you die. Master the art of dying." Now, please understand, death is inevitable. The day when you are born, I don't know what is permanent in your life. Every other thing is temporary. Death is the only permanent thing in your life which is going to occur. The probabilistic of death occurring in your life is 1.0. The probability values are between 0 and 1. The probability of death occurring in your life is 1.0. It's going to happen to you. It's not that it not happen to me. It's going to happen to you. It's going to happen to people who you know. It's going to happen to people who you love. It's going to happen to everybody around you. And you are also part of it. Now, there was a guy who was filthy rich, a very big businessman, a multi-billionaire running a big business, having cars which were like ships, and he was living a life. But he was so stressed, he was not happy. And as he goes every day out of his house, at one corner of the street, he saw a big tree, and he saw an aesthetic monk sitting with just a torn cloth there, always laughing. This guy was surprised. Now, I have every bloody thing in my life, but I'm not happy. I'm not able to laugh. I don't even have time to laugh. But look at this guy. He has just a loin cloth. It's torn, and this fellow is sitting under a tree. He does not have a house. He does not have a food to eat, but he's so blissful. So he just asked the drivers to stop the car. He went there one day and asked him. He knows that this fellow is a monk. He has some powers. So he went and asked him, uh, "Sir, so can you help me to be happy?" His monk said, "Okay, show me your hands. Let me see your hands and tell you if you'll really be happy or not." And then the monk said, looking at his hand, "You're not going to live long. Your life is just 7 days more." This fellow started crying. He said, I came here just because I know you'll make me happy. You are an idiot. Why did you tell me this? I am so sad. I'm going to die in 7 days." He went home. He told everybody. All his relatives started gathering. People started crying. He went himself and locked himself in a room. And he was crying for all 6 days. And now seventh day came. He started hearing some noise of kids playing. Now he opened his window and he saw a beautiful garden there, and he saw kids playing there. He was like, "Who are these kids? They're playing so beautifully. I've never seen them playing here. They're so beautiful. The garden is so beautiful. Whose garden is this? Is this mine?" And he just saw up, he saw the beautiful moon appearing in the middle of a mountain. "Is this mountain near my house? I have not seen this mountain for so long time." So as he came out on the seventh day, sixth day night or seventh day early morning, people around him started crying, "You're going to die today. Don't go anywhere." He said, "No, no, leave. I've seen something beautiful. I want to go see those things beautiful." He just went there. He saw the beautiful kids. He saw them playing. He saw them. He saw the mountains. He saw the moon. He was trying to understand why did he not enjoy all this every other day in his life. And then he came back around the evening of the seventh day, which was supposed to be his last day. And he came inside the home. He said, "I'm going to die. Don't worry. I'm happy. I've seen a lot of things in my life which I've never seen in my life. I'm happy." He was so blissful. And this monk also came. He said, "Please come. I came to you and I asked you how to be happy. You said, I'm going to live only for 7 days. But seventh day of my life was super great. I did whatever I have to do because I know tomorrow I'm not going to be there." I went and saw the kids. I realized they were my grandchildren. I went to the hill which was near my home, which where I have not been. I did a lot of things in my life which I have not done on this particular day, and I'm happy today. And the monk said, "You know what? I did make a mistake. You just don't have 7 days. You have 70 years more." This guy like, "What? 70 years? Are you a fool? I wasted 6 days. I lost 1 billion. What? Blah blah." And the monk said, "Listen, don't shout. Were you happy on this last day of your life? Did you do everything that you wanted to do? Because tomorrow is not going to be there." He said, "Yes, I did everything." So that's the message for you. Live your life like it's your last day on earth. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, always think that tomorrow is an uncertain event in our life. You are gifted if you wake up tomorrow morning. A lot of people in the world are not gifted. You are fighting against all of that and you're coming up in your life. So please ensure that you live your life like your last day. Do everything that you want to do on your life on this one last day that you have, thinking that this is the last day that you're going to breathe and live in this world. I'm sure every day of your life will definitely be happy. To summarize, Zen is not to confuse you with spirituality or with thinking about God while doing or peeling potatoes. Zen spirituality is just to peel the potatoes, just to enjoy the present moment of life and to keep enjoying, experiencing your life, and then actually going through a lot of experiences, not classifying them as good, bad, and ugly, but just to take them as an experience and keep going. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. For further reading, you can read a couple of these books. These are very good beginners books for understanding what is Zen, what is mind, all of these things. I just listed it for you. Yeah, these are available on Amazon as well, or you can check for a Kindle version if you have a Kindle. Uh, Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to thank everybody, especially Mr. Kumaran, for giving me this opportunity to talk on a subject like this, which I love truly. And also to our chairman, who was constantly in touch with me during my tough time recently on this pandemic, and everybody who made me what I am today. Thank you so much. Thanks so much that I'm grateful that all of you are in my life. Thank you. I'm okay to take any questions if you have on the topics that we spoke.
Harish, I don't think there's any question. Can you tell me something about your tough time in
No,
COVID?
we were
How
actually made
you
to be on home
affected and
quarantine because
how?
there were so many cases around us. We were asked to stay at home. That's the biggest challenge we had. So staying in one room or one house, as a matter of fact, for a lot of days was very tough for us because you're not allowed to see the external world. You're not allowed to see anything around you. You're not allowed to go anywhere and stuff. But then uh, it is more of experiencing that also, right? I mean, we don't experience all this. It has been almost uh, 20, I mean, 30 years I've experienced a fever. So when I had a very slight temperature, I enjoyed having this fever after a long time. But then nothing to bother. I mean, as long as you enjoy every situation that you're put across, if you can come out of it successfully, there's no way. And there's a lot of support from people, right? So you feel alone, you feel depressed. A lot of people who continuously keep talking to you. There are a lot of things which happens. You read a lot of books. So this experience was good, and more than that, the best experience was even during the pandemic. Where I mean, I had an opportunity to go and serve people through our emergency services, fire and rescue services. We did cook in a lot of fire stations. We went and started feeding people outside, and we were so thankful that we got this opportunity to feed people because hunger is the only thing which never says no to anything, right? So when we go give food for a lot of people, the way they enjoyed, it was so good. And we did a lot of other social services also, talking to people and stuff. So, I mean, my only message is take any situation, convert that into the most happiest situation, and I think you'll be good.
Okay. Thank you, Harish. Uh, so it's now it's a time to conclude our event. Thank you very much, Harish, for spending your valuable time with us in your busy schedule. Harish is a proud alumni of our college. He has passed out in the year 2007 from Computer Science and Engineering Department, and he is the president of our college alumni association. It was a great and mind-blowing session. I hope everyone enjoyed the session. Thank you very much, Harish, for the highly motivational session. I hope the participants will follow all the thoughts you have mentioned and
Thank
live
you.
in the Zen way. On behalf of on the behalf of Jaya Group of Institutions and all participants, thank you once again, Harish. Uh, at this moment, I place my sincere thanks to our college management. My thanks to our chairman, Professor A. Kanagaraj, our secretary, ma'am, Mrs. K. Vijay Kumari, and our vice chairman, Engineer K. Navaraj, our joint secretary, ma'am, Dr. K. Deena, our principal, Dr. K. Samitray, and all my colleagues who rendered their support for conducting this webinar series. Great, thank you, everyone. We appreciate you being here. Next schedule is on Wednesday at 6 p.m. The topic is virtual reality, virtual labs for Industry 4.0 and Education 4.0. The speaker, Dr. P. Bhanu Prasad, is a research advisor for the college, Sri Vidyaniketan Engineering College, and the chief mentor, Sagajan Laser Technology Limited, India. So I request everyone to join for the webinar. Thank you all for your active participation. Thanks again for joining us today, and we will see you next on Wednesday at 6 p.m. Thank you, Ananda. Thank you, Harish.